J.J. McCarthy, dog. Roman Wilson, he's a dog. And Josh Wallace, those are the three players that earn my dogs against East Carolina in week one. We're going to take you through 5 more players who have earned their collar here on the Michigan Football Report and the latest news and rumors headed to week 3 night game against Bowling Green coming up on Saturday night. Let's go. The Wolverines are 2-0, and they are number 2 still in the coaches poll and the AP poll, facing Bowling Green on Saturday night. Night game, Big Ten Network will also be live during the pregame, during the game, and postgame. So we'll tell you about that here in a few more minutes. I've got 5 more players who I have given the collar to. They are Yoder's dogs after the second game of the year. Let's take you through who has earned their collar. First up, Blake Corum. Dog! Blake Corum scored 3 touchdowns against UNLV. He's got 5 now for the season. Zak Zinter, he's a dog. 85.6 PFF grade in pass blocking versus UNLV. Next up, Kenneth Grant, the big man in the middle. Dog. Kenneth Grant is a dog. 4 tackles, 1.5 sacks, 2.5 tackles for loss this past Saturday. Next up, we got Mikey Sainristil. Mikey Sainristil, 5 tackles, 1 pass breakup. He's been everywhere. Maybe he should have got a dog after week 1 with his interception. He didn't, but now he is a dog. I thought he played wide receiver. Nope, now he's over here. He's playing defense with Michigan the last 2 seasons. And last up, Kris Jenkins, the man in the middle. Dog. 5 tackles and 1/2 sack against UNLV. You see a little theme there from the defensive line there at the end. Kenneth Grant, Kris Jenkins. Those men move the line in the middle. Those are Yoder's dogs. We'll take it a level deeper here on the Michigan Football Report. But let's take a look at our programming schedule for the week. We'll be live 3 p.m. Eastern. We're switching it up, right? We're trying to make sure that you guys are seeing the show when it needs to be seen by you, best schedule. So we've done noon, we've done 5 p.m., we've done 8 p.m., 5 p.m. Now we're going to try 3 o'clock this week, see if that is the ideal time. If not, if it's not a bigger audience or anything like that, we'll probably stick with 5 o'clock Eastern for the next few weeks. Then we're going to be live on Saturday night, prime time for Michigan and Bowling Green. Scott Leffler, if you guys remember 20-plus years ago, old Michigan assistant coach. He is the head coach at Bowling Green. 7 p.m. Eastern. We'll be live the entire game with the scoreboard stats, live play-by-play, and then right into our post-game show. Subscribe to the channel. 27,000 subscribers, 27,443 subscribers, as we are just over 500 away from hitting 28,000 subscribers. All right, let's take another look at my dogs here on the Michigan Football Report, because there's some reason that these guys got the collar and others didn't. But I want to give you guys the opportunity to win $25. We've done this a few times in the past, so if you want, go down in the comments below. I'm gonna make this the pinned comment, so right below the video you can reply to make it super easy. Anyone who correctly predicts the score of Michigan Bowling Green Saturday night, no editing and no adding after kickoff. So I just want to make sure that those stipulations are correct. And to qualify, you have to like the video. So go ahead and make your description. If you don't like the video, that's just kind of like the second ask we have to enter for $25. I'll Venmo the first person to correctly predict the score. So go down, predict the score, $25 to the first correct score prediction. How about Zak Zinter? After potentially could have gone to the NFL after this past season, Zak Zinter got one of the best grades in all of college football on the offensive line from a pass blocking perspective. 85.6 on the game against UNLV. So he is a dog. How about Kenneth Grant? Kenneth Grant, 4 tackles, 1.5 sacks, 2.5 tackles for loss. Really, as a backup, he was playing all kinds of snaps. He seemed like he was there the entire time. Still a backup. Mason Graham played really well, but I thought Kenneth Grant had a little more in the stats, so that's why he gets the collar this week. He is a dog. And then Mikey Sainristil. I thought he was a wide receiver, right? Switched last year, of course. If you guys don't know the meme, you should go watch it. Just check out the high school football player, dogs. And then big Kris Jenkins, 5 tackles with 4 other players, 5 players all tied for Michigan lead with 5 tackles. He also had a 1/2 sack on the day. So let me know what you guys think. Did I forget anybody? If you guys think, right, if you're a dog for life. You're a dog for the season. I can't take away your dogness, so you got to make sure you earn it, which is why I'm just not giving it away to anybody who gets in the game. So my dogs, one more time. Blake Corum is a dog. Zak Zinter, Kenneth Grant, Mikey Sainristil, and Kris Jenkins. Those are our dogs. How about now a word from our sponsor? The Michigan Football Report is sponsored by AG1. I have AG1 literally every day. Get comprehensive and convenient daily nutrition at drinkag1.com/chatsports. Covering my nutritional basis for the day literally couldn't be easier, which is why I trust AG1. Once I've got my kids dressed and ready each morning, I make my AG1. I don't feel the need for caffeine anymore, and I feel energized throughout the day. Plus, AG1 empowers the gut for whole body health. I just mix one small scoop of AG1 with water and drink it each morning. Done. I also like that it costs less than $3 a day. Pretty good, if you ask me. It's a really effective daily habit with the highest quality source ingredients. Win-win. If a comprehensive solution is what you need from your supplement routine, then AG1 is giving you a free 1-year supply of vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. Go to drinkag1.com/chatsports. That's drinkag1.com/chatsports. The link is in the comments and the description of today's video. Trust me on this. I'm very picky about what I put in my body, so I try to steer clear of chemicals and harsh ingredients, which is why I love AG1 and its 75 high-quality vitamins, minerals, and whole food source nutrients. Get started at drinkag1.com/chatsports. Some things I want to highlight to talk about on today's show. First, for me, it is Blake Corum continues to be a force at the goal line. And in a lot of ways, this has been a challenge. The running game has been a challenge for Michigan through 2 weeks, right? The strongest, or one of the 2 or 3 strongest running teams in the country over the last 2 seasons. And 2 guys who, listen, I think a lot of you guys think could be the best running back tandem the Big Ten seen in 20-plus years, if not the entire landscape of college football. He is still a force to the goal line. 15 carries, only 80 yards, not really breaking it away, although there was one run early on, I think it was his first touchdown, where Michigan handed the ball off to him on 3rd and 7, inside the 15-ish yard line. He broke it down inside the 5 and then punched it in on the next snap. So Blake Corum hasn't put up huge numbers, right? 2 games, no 100-yard games yet, but 15 carries. He got a little more work, a couple more snaps, a few more carries, more snaps than he did in the first week. 80 yards, 3 touchdowns. It is very clear. Last week, when Donovan Edwards had the ball inside the 3 or 4 yard line versus Blake Corum versus Kalel Mullings against TCU, if Michigan has the ball inside the 5, they're probably going to give it to Blake Corum, and they're probably almost definitely going to score a touchdown. The man remains a force inside the 5. But Donovan Edwards, the Don, very limited impact, and I'm not sure what to make of it, right? I kind of take a look at what you guys are thinking of in our comments on social media here and there, and there's a lot of Michigan is saving him. They're going to save him for bigger games. And, he's catching the ball. He's out of this. He's playing a lot of snaps, but when he gets the ball in the backfield as a running back, which is still his position, he's not doing a ton of much, right? 6 carries on the day on Saturday against UNLV, only 9 yards. 9 yards. And really, every time he got the ball from the running back position, carrying it, it was like just 1 or 2 yards. He really didn't have any wiggle. And I said in our live watch party, and this was me reacting to it in the moment, on the spot, is it felt like he was kind of waiting for that hole to open up like he did against Ohio State in the 4th quarter, where he kind of, wait a second. Zak Zinter and Olubutimi spread the sea, part of the seas, and he just, boom, gone. So he's kind of like waiting, and then nothing happens, and he just kind of crashes into the line. So I think Donovan Edwards showed a ton of patience in the end of the year last year against Ohio State and some against TCU and certainly against Purdue. Haven't seen it so far through 2 games. He's just kind of waiting and then just crashing into the lines, not really finding the openings, whether that's him, whether it's the offensive line. He does have 9 catches, so he's one of Michigan's most productive receivers. He has 4 catches in each of the first, I guess he had 4 catches. Yeah, 4 catches in the first 2 games plus for him. 5 against UNLV, 4 in the first game, along with Roman Wilson, along with Cornelius Johnson. Michigan's found kind of their 3 top wide receivers. On the other side, Colson Loveland, from the wide receiver perspective at tight end, didn't really have much of an impact in the second game after he was out there catching 4+ passes against East Carolina in the opener. So I'm a little concerned about Donovan Edwards. Not a ton of production, 6 carries, 9 yards. Let me know what you guys think about the Don. Are you concerned about Donovan Edwards? Give me a Y for yes or an N for no down in the comments. I think we're going to find out a lot on Saturday night. I'm kind of concerned. I'm going to put a K for my answer, but you guys answer Y or N. I want to kind of take the pulse of the Michigan Football Report audience, the best audience in all of college football here on YouTube. How about J.J. McCarthy, though? McCarthy has been the man. He has absolutely been the man. He looks like he's having a lot of fun out there, right? He was paying tribute to. I didn't really get the story yet because we were live. Like a former teammate is wearing number 47. Teammate that passed away threw a 47-yard touchdown pass to Roman Wilson shortly after they showed that on TV, which is kind of poetic. He's been the man. He looks super confident. He looks like he's having a ton of fun. He looks like this is his team, and he's not content to just hand the ball off 45 times a game like Michigan did much of last year. 48 of 55 on the season, right? 48 of 55. He's pretty close to having as many touchdown passes with 5 as he has incompletions, only with 7. I think he's second right now. There's actually one player that's got a higher completion percentage than J.J. McCarthy, but those are just absolutely staggering numbers. Has the Michigan record for highest completion percentage in a game over 30 yards, and he's got second in a game over 25, yards, attempts, right? Over 30 attempts and then over 25 attempts, as he was 22 of 25 this past Saturday. McCarthy, for me, is become Michigan's leading Heisman Trophy candidate, which is a big change from, obviously, Aiden Hutchinson in 2021, maybe a little bit of Hassan Haskins as the year went on, although he didn't really finish in the top 5 or 6 or anything like that. Hutchinson finished second. Blake Corum probably would have won the Heisman last year had he not got hurt against Illinois and had a big day against Ohio State, Big Ten championship game. But the Don came in and filled the gap. Neither one of those two have done enough, right? Blake Corum, I guess, has 5 touchdowns, so you can say he's kind of moving the envelope forward on the touchdowns perspective, but not the yards, not the big plays. JJ is doing it across all facets, stats, impact, and just the swagger and moments that Heisman Trophy voters look for. My Heisman rankings after the second full week of games, even though he's played 3 games, I think even if he played 2, Caleb Williams is number 1. I give the nod to number 2 and 3 to Quinn Ewers and Jordan Travis. They have engineered both them top 5 wins away from home, right? Jordan Travis at a neutral site game, and Quinn Ewers went on the road to beat Alabama. So those guys jump up there in the top 3. Michael Penix Jr. Put up absurd numbers at Washington. Shedeur Sanders, you guys know about him. Sam Hartman, he's going to give Ohio State all they can handle in 12 days from now. J.J. McCarthy, I've got number 7, which is basically where I had him, and then Drew Aller last week. Keon Coleman added another touchdown, so he's got 4 on the year. He doesn't have 5 like Roman Wilson does, so maybe Wilson's going to get on this list if he has another couple touchdowns after the 3rd game of the year. And then Travis Hunter didn't have a touchdown, kind of pushed him down my list. Still was a big, impactful player after his massive game in the opener for Colorado against TCU last weekend. So I ask you guys one more time, predict the score. I'm going to pin this comment beneath the video. So reply to the pinned comment or put it anywhere. Make sure you tell me who wins the game. Just do it. I know you're going to put Michigan anyways, but put score Michigan. Don't edit it and don't submit it after kickoff on Saturday. If you do that and like the video, first person to have the correct answer, which is a lot tougher than you think. Even though we get hundreds and hundreds of people commenting, it's actually rare that someone can do it. So prove to yourself and to everyone else that you are the man or woman, and we will give you $25 for the first score prediction, but also like the video. I want to look a little deeper at the wide receivers because Tyler Morris played against East Carolina but didn't really do anything, and some of the freshmen were in there. Darius Clemens, haven't seen much of him this year. He's injured. Cornelius Johnson, 40 snaps, still continues to be in there basically on every play. If Michigan's not in passing formation, and they have 2 tight ends and maybe even 2 running backs sometimes, Johnson's in the game. Roman Wilson, he'll come out. He doesn't really play in those run-heavy situations. Wilson had 30 snaps against UNLV. Tyler Morris, though, big impact, second year, second game. He's out there 27 passes. So if he doesn't get injured, I think it's pretty clear that Tyler Morris, Roman Wilson, and Cornelius Johnson are your 3 starting wide receivers. But then Carmelo English and Frederick Moore. Those 2 true freshmen. Also, Samaj Morgan had 5 snaps. Those are your top wide receiver, wide receivers for Michigan after 2 games. This is the snap count against UNLV. But the top 3 right there, Johnson, Wilson, and Tyler Morris are your starting 3. And I think going forward, those are the 3 we're going to see on the field the majority of the time from Michigan. Roman Wilson having himself a season. He's having himself a year. 10 catches so far through 2 games, 167 yards. And the most impressive thing is those 5 touchdowns against 2 lower UNLV, East Carolina, whatever. 3 touchdowns last week from J.J. McCarthy, 2 this week. I think the most important thing is the red zone, which I'll talk about in a second. But I'll ask you guys this question. How many touchdowns with 5 touchdowns through 2 games, how many will Roman Wilson finish this season? Include the bowl game, include CFP, the Big Ten championship game if you want. End of the year, how many touchdowns receiving will Roman Wilson finish? I'm not going to get too crazy, but I think he's going to get double digits, which Michigan hasn't had from a wide receiver in forever. So I'm going to go with 12. I'm going to go with 12, which actually be a pretty huge year. We'll put him up there in the top seasons for touchdowns in the history of this program. But take a look at the stats, all right? 4th year playing for Michigan this year. Go back to 2020, the COVID year. 9 catches, 1 touchdown, 122 yards. Was a backup player. Okay, cool. Then he's getting the starting lineup. He's in there. He's out of there in 2021. 25 catches, 420 yards, 3 touchdowns. Last year, 25 catches, 376 as a starter the entire season. Also added a couple touchdowns on the ground. So through 2 games so far this year, he clearly doesn't have the 376, 400 yards, whatever that is. Cool. That's not to be expected. But already has 10 catches and 5 touchdowns, more than he's had in any of his prior seasons as a Wolverine. I think that just proves what him and J.J. McCarthy have developed between them as, chemistry-wise, and what we're going to expect from him inside the red zone is where I think these two have really made the connection. 4 of the 5 touchdowns, right? The only one that wasn't was that 47-yarder that just looked too easy, right? J.J. hit him in stride, going right to left across the field. Roman caught it, just turned up the left sideline, the Michigan sideline, just floated into the end zone. But the other 3 are all inside the red zone where Michigan has struggled, especially passing to wide receivers in the Jim Harbaugh era for the most part. Last 2 years, very, very difficult sledding when it came to passing and having an aggressive passing attack in the red zone. We saw some of it come out against TCU and even against Purdue. We're seeing that continue here in the beginning of the season. J.J. McCarthy, Roman Wilson, in my opinion, the hottest red zone combo in all of college football. Guys, as I mentioned earlier in the show, we are live this week, Wednesday at 3 o'clock Eastern for about 90-plus minutes. So make sure you join us. We'll have all the latest Michigan football news, rumors, some stupid human tricks. I got the old throwback helmet here from 1947. We might give away one more of these helmets that I sent out to John Blaze last week. And if you guys want to join in, again, the super chat, you will be immortalized on our hard hat. We're a hard hat show. Some people who contributed last week, the Lost Angels, Jim Prindable, Chris Lauderay, Net Meg, Iceman Comp 25, Cody Momfer, Midge M, Outdoor Montana, who actually won the T-shirt, got his information. Wolverine Alaska, of course, David Timber, Some Guy, House of Lion, Coach Sully 44, Danny B Gaming, and Midge M, among many, many others. And while you guys are here, go down in the comments and description. I list my Twitter account, the link to it, or just go search. It's at James Yoder on Twitter. We'll be back with another Michigan Football Report on Tuesday, and then live 3 o'clock Eastern on Wednesday. Join us for both those shows, and until I see you then, go Blue.